Once, our scarred heads met over words which worked the room like ley line sunsets. Neither of us could know at the time how the violence lining our skin wore high-vis jackets, drawing us to the other through ferromagnetic metals made from years of smashing our hearts onto the hands of those whose palms were knots of knuckles. That night was just beginning. We sat on slouchy sofas filled with feathers that had cushioned more than flesh could ever keep. And as I marvelled at how your smile drawstringed your eyes, you told me things we already knew about how hate needs no weaponry, how dissatisfaction and anger are the arms used to inflict wounds that trick themselves. They are sticky with love, even as that love drips relentlessly onto clothes and carpets and tiles and slippers that were bought on days before the ticker tape of our lives announced disintegration in decapitated sound bites. And I told you things I thought I knew about time stretching like stitches, about hope reaching inside and not leaving, about not leaving. Why didn't we leave? I told you things I had left behind, tunnels of bruised eyes and flattened tires of intolerance. It was quite a way to start a conversation, really. Like side-slit snow, urgently laid back, stunning, cold, looking much better than it felt. A cocktail inn said your heart spoke love only in writing, and there was so much violence hiding in mine that I didn't even mind, not one bit. I lived for words I could see, and yours were framed lenses lent to my face for a phase of time that untied my hands and made me dance. We danced in dark corners, careful waltzes to bashment tunes that brought a rhythm to our remembering as we got more direct. And I said somewhere in between Beanie Man and Beyonce, he smashed an ashtray on my head the day I got my GCSE results. 5 A stars, 2 A's, 1 B, 3 C's, and a dent the shape of the side of one of those engraved glass bowls made for pubs back in the days when fag butts piled up higher than flagpoles. And you told me that she had taken your veins with her when she hung you out to dry, and now the blood stopped in odd places. You didn't know how to take the pegs down. And downstairs we ate food that fought its battles beneath the tangle of incitement that gave us reason to breathe, because we'd never ever been like this. So effortless, so conscious of a presence that wanted us. And when dessert came, I felt comfortable enough to tell you about that time he'd spat strawberry trifle onto my head in front of his friends. Glass shards of a dessert bowl this time, just missing my eyelid, that he later closed with his kisses, accepted by me because I had learned it was better to accept, to be kind and pretty, than to ever admit that you could do it, that you'd done it. Against the odds, you could achieve something other than straightened hair, something more than matching clothing for the big reunion rave, something bigger than knowing the entire back catalogue of every boy, every girl in your group had ever kissed, licked, loved, lost, something more shiny than cherry red lip gloss on special offer only today, something that made you feel alive inside, and it had nothing to do with a man, a boy, a male, a guy, a geezer, a bloke, a lad. No, never admit that, unless you wanted more cracks to appear all over your life, like dessert bowls held in hands that only know how to throw things. Just smile, be kind, be pretty, be pretty, be pretty, be good. Good, you said, is something you'd never known. You'd outgrown good by the time she returned her nails to the curtain she'd closed on your cheek. Eventually, the bar staff announced last orders amongst an orderless noise. We sat there in the place where we'd spelled out our names so that each syllable seemed to rest against the roof of our mouths in the way sun melts into the wax of the world each day, inevitably, expectedly, beautifully. And we'd spoken of ugliness in the forms that it had found our small lives. And now we delivered silent apologies to our dreams as they delved back into those never-ending whirlpools others had unplugged for them. Then, as now, there was a pain of thunderous proportions. But this time there'd be no blood, no bruises, just a legacy of long-held loss that was waiting before us before we found these megaphones telling of our loneliness, of the hollowing holes held by marshmallow marrow. And I sat stilled by tears that never seemed to tire, tracing the timber of my face. And you didn't hold my hand because you had tired of touch, and I didn't try to hold yours because I had tired of trying. And so our hands found pockets, mine with wrinkled tissues, dented lip balm, yours with a cracked debit card, pebbled threads of never ever. And we left, right and left, out of the doorways that had held us. A couple more of those who loved and lost, the cost of which causes this story to start again at the start, causes art to replay, rewind where we were, to remind our jigsawed hearts we were here. once.